Hello, everyone! Back in 2020, Elon Musk made headlines worldwide when he confidently declared that SpaceX would send humans to Mars by 2026. Now, with just 2 years left on the clock, that bold statement has turned into an enormous challenge. It's a race against time and technology, one that demands more than just optimism. Recently, SpaceX achieved a remarkable milestone. The fifth test flight of its Starship rocket was a resounding success. For the first time in history, an orbital-class rocket was safely recovered on Earth, paving the way for reusable spacecraft, a game-changer for interplanetary missions. Still, even Musk's most loyal fans hesitate to believe humans will set foot on Mars within the next 2 years. That dream feels just a little too distant. Even NASA, the world's most accomplished space agency, isn't ready to entertain such an idea. Right now, their primary goal is to get humans back to the moon, a plan that's already facing delays. So, why is getting to Mars so hard? Despite incredible technological advancements since the Apollo era, sending humans to Mars remains one of humanity's greatest challenges. 3 major factors stand in the way: distance, time, and technology. Mars is, on average, 140 million miles to 125 million kilometers from Earth. But here's the kicker: that distance changes. When Earth and Mars are at their closest, they're still about 35 million miles, 56 million kilometers apart, roughly 140 times the distance between Earth and the Moon. At their farthest, Mars and Earth can be separated by a staggering 150 million miles for 100 million kilometers. That's enough to make even the most advanced space mission sweat. With today's technology, a one-way trip to Mars would take between 7 to 9 months. Factor in a return trip and the time spent waiting for Mars and Earth to align again, and you're looking at a mission that could last up to 21 months. Now, picture this: you're stuck in a spacecraft for nearly 9 months, maybe even longer. Sounds tough, right? Well, let me break it down for you. First, limited space. You're in this small, cramped cabin with nowhere to go. Forget fresh air or running water, those luxuries are left behind on Earth. Everything you need, from food to oxygen, has to be carefully rationed. Supplies are limited, and there's no stopping at the cosmic equivalent of a gas station to restock. Then, there's radiation exposure. Out in the vastness of space, you're completely unprotected from intense cosmic radiation. It's not just a small concern, it's a serious health risk. We're talking potential long-term effects like cancer or damage to your body's cells. That's why radiation shielding is such a huge focus for spacecraft design. And finally, let's talk about the psychological toll. You're isolated, far from Earth, far from your loved ones. For months on end, you're confined with the same few people, in the same tight quarters, with nowhere to escape. The mental strain of that kind of isolation, it's no joke. Even the most experienced astronauts have to prepare for it. Now, let's talk about the kind of technology we'd need to actually make a mission to Mars possible. First off, we're not just talking about any spacecraft here. It has to be big, powerful, and capable of carrying everything required for a journey this ambitious. But that's not all. It also needs to be safe, reliable, and most importantly, cost-effective. You can't just throw money at the problem endlessly. It has to make sense financially if we want to do this on a large scale. That's where SpaceX's Starship comes in. This spacecraft is nothing short of a modern engineering masterpiece. Picture this: it's designed to carry 100 passengers along with tons of cargo, all in one trip. That means it can not only transport astronauts, but also the supplies needed to build habitats, conduct research, and maybe even start a colony. Pretty amazing, right? And here's the catch, we're not quite there yet. There's still a lot of work to do before Starship is truly ready for such a monumental mission. Testing, refining, and proving its capabilities will take time, effort, and yes, more successful launches. Alright, let's break down the big players in the race to Mars, NASA and SpaceX. These are the heavyweights in space exploration, and while they share the same ultimate goal, getting humans to Mars, their approaches couldn't be more different. Let's dive into what each of them is doing. First up, we've got SpaceX. Elon Musk has been very clear about this Starship as the heart and soul of his vision for interplanetary travel. This thing is a beast. It's the biggest, most powerful spacecraft ever built, and it's designed to be fully reusable. That's a huge deal, because reusability means lower costs and more frequent launches, which are crucial for making life on Mars a reality. But here's the thing, Musk isn't sugarcoating anything. He's straight up said, honestly, a bunch of people will probably die in the beginning. Yep, those are his words. It's a stark reminder that while the dream is incredible, the risks are very real. This isn't just hopping on a plane to another country. It's a journey filled with danger and uncertainty. Now, let's look at NASA. Their approach is a lot more cautious, and honestly, that makes sense for a government-funded agency. They're focusing on their Artemis program, which aims to take us back to the moon first. Why? Because the moon is the perfect place to test the technologies and strategies we'll need for Mars. Think of it as a stepping stone. NASA wants to set up a base at the moon's South Pole. Why the South Pole? Because there are massive reserves of frozen water there. That water can be turned into drinking water, breathable oxygen, and even rocket fuel. It's like building a little pit stop before heading further out. The Lunar Gateway. This is basically a space station that will orbit the moon. Astronauts can use it to rest, resupply, and prepare for deeper space missions. It's kind of like a hotel and gas station rolled into one, but, you know, in space. Alright, let's talk about the risks and challenges of sending humans to Mars. Elon Musk, as ambitious as he is, doesn't sugarcoat the realities. He's been very upfront about this. The first wave of astronauts heading to Mars. They're going to face serious risks, and yes, that includes the possibility of losing their lives. Think about it. How do you prepare people for such a dangerous, isolated journey? Imagine knowing that every message you send back to Earth takes 20 minutes to arrive and then another 20 minutes for the reply to come back. If you're in an emergency, that delay could be life or death. It's not like you can just pick up the phone and call for help. Everything has to be planned and prepared for in advance. And then there's the cost. Let's not forget about that. A single Mars mission is estimated to cost tens of billions of dollars. To make it happen, it's going to take an unprecedented level of teamwork, governments, private companies, international partners, all working together. No one organization can handle something this massive on their own. Alright, let's wrap this up by talking about the dream of Mars. Is it realistic, or are we reaching too far too fast? Sure, the obstacles are massive. We've covered the distance, the cost, the technology, and the human risks. But here's the thing, humanity's determination to conquer Mars, it's unshaken. Both NASA and SpaceX are constantly pushing the limits of what's possible. They're innovating at a speed we've never seen before. Now, let's be honest, the timeline might feel a bit too ambitious. I mean, 2026, that's practically tomorrow in the world of space exploration. But the progress we've made so far, it's undeniable. Whether it takes 2 years or 20, one thing is certain: humanity's journey to Mars is happening. It's not a question of if, but when. So, what do you think? Will Elon Musk's Starship get us to the red planet sooner than we expect? Or will it take a little longer than we hope? Either way, one thing's for sure: the dream is alive, and we're closer than ever to turning it into reality. Exciting times, right? If you found this video interesting or helpful, don't forget to hit that like button to show your support. Got any thoughts or questions? Leave a comment below, I'd love to hear from you. And most importantly, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Your support is what keeps me motivated to bring you even more exciting content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.